I didn't think he'd actually let me go. That's what I need everyone to understand first. I thought when I announced I wanted an open relationship, he'd fight for me, push back, refuse, get emotional and jealous and possessive in ways that would prove he loved me enough to not share me. I thought my announcement was a negotiation opener, not an actual request I expected him to grant. I was catastrophically wrong about all of that. My boyfriend, his name is Darius, and I had been together for 3 years, living together for 18 months in a gorgeous apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows and exposed brick. Really solid relationship by every measure. Comfortable, loving, secure. The kind of relationship where people asked when we were getting engaged and we'd smile and say eventually, because it felt inevitable. But I'd gotten bored. That's the truth I didn't want to admit even to myself initially. 3 years with the same person, same routines, same everything. The excitement had faded. The butterflies were gone. The passion had settled into comfortable companionship. And I'd started wondering if this was all there was. If I was going to spend the rest of my life in this pleasant but unstimulating relationship. If I'd missed out on experiences by settling down so young at 26. I'd met someone at work several months before everything exploded. His name was Ethan, new hire in my department, brought in to handle the expansion of our client services division. Attractive in that effortless way, tall, good smile, confident without being arrogant, funny, quick-witted, paid attention to me in ways that made me feel exciting and desirable rather than comfortable and familiar. The kind of attention that reminded me I was still attractive to new people, still interesting to someone who didn't know all my stories and habits and routines. We'd started having coffee together during breaks, just professional at first, discussing projects, comparing notes on difficult clients, complaining about management decisions, normal coworker bonding. But gradually it shifted, became more personal, started sharing details about our lives, our backgrounds, our relationships. He'd mentioned being single and loving it, having freedom to explore without commitment weighing him down. I'd mentioned being in a long-term relationship and feeling sometimes like maybe I'd settled too young, committed too early, missed out on experiences. Then coffee became drinks after work. Drinks became dinners that went late into the evening. Dinners became long conversations, where we'd sit for hours after finishing our meals, just talking about philosophy and psychology and what we wanted from life. Each escalation felt natural, felt justified, felt like just two people connecting intellectually, even though I knew somewhere deep down that I was lying to myself about what was building between us. The physical progression was equally gradual and equally inevitable. Started with small touches, his hand on my arm when making a point, my hand on his shoulder when laughing at a joke. Became more deliberate, standing closer than necessary, prolonged eye contact, the kind of tension you could cut with a knife. Eventually we kissed, after drinks one evening in the parking lot before getting in our cars. Just kissed, but it was everything. Electric, exciting, new, everything my relationship with Darius wasn't anymore. And then we slept together, in his apartment after drinks one Thursday evening 6 weeks into knowing him, and then again the following Tuesday after another late dinner, and 3 more times over the next 2 weeks. Each time I told myself it was the last time. Each time I told myself I'd end this and get back to focusing on Darius and our relationship. Each time I'd delete our most incriminating texts and promise myself I'd create distance. And each time I'd fail within days and end up right back with Ethan. I kept seeing Ethan regularly for a full month, sleeping with him twice a week on average, telling Darius I had late client meetings or work dinners or happy hours with colleagues, building an elaborate structure of lies to protect the affair I knew was wrong but couldn't seem to stop, enjoying the excitement and validation and newness, too much to give it up, even though guilt gnawed at me constantly when I was home with Darius. Until Darius found out in the most mundane, stupid way possible. saw texts on my phone that I'd forgotten to delete. I'd left my phone on the kitchen counter while showering one evening. He'd heard it buzz repeatedly and glanced at it without thinking. We'd never been secretive about phones before. Saw messages from Ethan that were obviously not professional, obviously romantic, obviously sexual. Messages about when we'd see each other next, about how much he'd enjoyed our previous encounter, about what he wanted to do to me the next time we were alone. Darius had confronted me directly the moment I got out of the shower. Standing in our bedroom, with my phone in his hand and an expression I'd never seen before, not angry exactly, more disappointed and hurt and resigned all at once. Asked simply and directly who Ethan was and what was going on, and how long this had been happening. I could have lied, could have minimized, could have said Ethan was just some guy I'd gone on one date with before things got serious, that the texts were from months ago and I'd forgotten to delete them, that it was nothing and meant nothing and happened once and I immediately regretted it. But standing there seeing Darius hold evidence of my betrayal, I saw something else, an opportunity, a potential way to keep both. Keep Darius and his stability and our beautiful apartment and our shared life, and also keep Ethan and the excitement and newness and validation. A way to have my cake and eat it too, without having to choose. I could have lied, could have minimized, could have said it was nothing, meant nothing, happened once and I regretted it. But I didn't. Instead, I saw an opportunity, a way to keep both. Keep Darius and his stability and our life together, and also keep Ethan and the excitement and newness. Keep having my cake and eating it too. I need to talk to you about something, I'd said, sitting down across from him in our living room. About what you saw, about Ethan, about what I want for us going forward. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit hype to boost this episode. Drop a comment below with your city or country. I'm always curious where viewers are joining from. Who is Ethan? Darius had asked, voice carefully controlled. He's someone from work, someone I've been seeing, someone I've been sleeping with. For about a month now, multiple times, and I need to be honest with you about that because transparency is important to me, even as we navigate this transition. Transition to what? I want an open relationship, I'd said, having rehearsed this part. I've been thinking about it a lot, about how monogamy might not serve everyone, about how love and sex don't have to be exclusive, about how we can love each other and still explore connections with other people. I want to keep what we have. I love you, I love our life together. I don't want to lose you. But I also want freedom to explore other connections, to see Ethan, to potentially see other people. And I want you to have that same freedom if you want it. Darius had stared at me for a long moment. Processing. You cheated on me. With someone named Ethan. Multiple times over a month. And now you're telling me you want an open relationship so you can keep cheating but call it something else. That's a really cynical framing, I'd said, defensive. I'm being honest about what I need, about what I think could make us both happy, about a relationship structure that could work for modern couples who don't want to be constrained by outdated monogamous expectations. This isn't about retroactively justifying cheating. This is about evolving our relationship to accommodate growth and exploration. You cheated first, then decided we should be open. That's not ethical non-monogamy. That's just cheating and trying to get permission after the fact. I'm trying to have an honest conversation about what I need. What you need is to fuck Ethan without feeling guilty about it, Darius interrupted, voice getting harder. What you need is to keep me and our apartment and our life while also having your exciting new guy. What you need is for me to smile and accept that I'm not enough for you anymore. That's not fair. I'm trying to communicate. After a month of lying, after multiple instances of cheating, after I had to find out by seeing your texts, that's when you decided to communicate. When you got caught. Not before. Not when you first started having feelings for him. Not when you first had coffee or drinks or dinner. when you got caught, then suddenly you want to have honest conversations about open relationships. I'd expected anger, expected hurt, expected jealousy and possessiveness and fighting. What I didn't expect was the calm, measured way he was responding, the controlled tone, the absence of emotional outbursts. It felt wrong somehow, like he wasn't reacting the way he should. "So what do you want?" I'd asked. "Do you want to break up? Do you want me to stop seeing Ethan? What's your response to what I'm proposing?" Darius had been quiet for a long time, really long, just sat there thinking while I waited. Finally, he'd said, "I want to understand the parameters. If we're going to have an open relationship, I need to know the rules. Can we see people separately? Can we bring people home? Are there limits on emotional connection or just physical? Do we tell each other everything or maintain privacy? What exactly are you proposing?" I'd felt a surge of hope. He was engaging with the concept, asking practical questions, not just refusing outright. "I think we should be able to see people separately, not bring them home. This is our space. Physical connections are fine, but we stay primary partners emotionally. We can tell each other general things but don't need explicit details. Does that work? And you want this so you can keep seeing Ethan?" "I want this so we can both explore connections that fulfill different needs while maintaining what we have together." "Okay," Darius had said. "Let's do it. Let's open the relationship. You can see Ethan. I can see other people if I want. We maintain our home and our connection as primary. We explore externally. Let's try it." I'd been shocked by his agreement, genuinely shocked. Had expected more resistance, more negotiation, more emotional processing. "Really? You're okay with this? You've made clear what you want. You've been seeing Ethan for a month already, regardless of my input. You've decided monogamy doesn't work for you. So yes, let's make it official. Open relationship, starting now." I'd continued seeing Ethan openly and without guilt after that conversation establishing our new open relationship structure. No more sneaking around or hiding my phone or deleting incriminating texts or making up elaborate lies about where I was. I'd tell Darius straightforwardly when I had dates planned with Ethan. "Seeing Ethan tonight, probably be home around midnight." He'd nod and say, "Okay, have fun," without emotion or judgment. I'd come home late from Ethan's apartment and Darius would be reading or watching TV and wouldn't question where I'd been or what I'd done. The guilt I'd been carrying for the past month completely evaporated. I had permission now. I was operating within boundaries we'd mutually established. I was exploring connections in an ethical, agreed-upon framework rather than cheating behind his back. I felt free, felt validated, felt like I'd successfully navigated a difficult situation and come out with exactly what I wanted. Ability to see Ethan without losing Darius. Ethan and I would go to nice restaurants, see movies, spend lazy Sunday afternoons in his apartment, talking and having sex and ordering takeout. All the romantic relationship activities, but without the pressure or expectations of being exclusive or primary. It felt perfect. Like I'd unlocked the secret to having everything I wanted without sacrifice or compromise. Darius seemed fine with the whole arrangement. Weirdly fine, actually, given that his girlfriend was openly dating and sleeping with someone else. Went about his completely normal routines without visible distress. Went to work every day. Came home at his regular time. Cooked dinner for himself. Watched his usual shows. Went to bed at his normal hour. Acted like nothing fundamental had changed in our relationship or his life. Didn't ask probing questions about Ethan or what we did together. Didn't seem jealous or hurt or bothered in any observable way. Just accepted the new structure with this strange calm equanimity that I interpreted as him being mature and evolved and comfortable with our modern relationship approach. 2 weeks after we'd officially opened the relationship, Darius mentioned casually over breakfast, one Saturday morning, "I'm seeing someone tonight. Her name is Simone. Met her through my friend Marcus, who thought we'd get along. We're getting dinner at that Italian place downtown you like. I'd felt immediate visceral panic, despite having no logical right to feel that way. Wait, you're going on a date? You're actually dating someone? We have an open relationship, he'd reminded me calmly, pouring himself more coffee. You're seeing Ethan regularly, multiple times a week, sleeping with him, building a connection with him. I'm allowed to see other people too. That's literally the entire point of an open relationship. That's specifically what you asked for, and what we explicitly agreed to. I know, I fumbled for words, trying to articulate the panic I felt, without admitting I'd expected the openness to be one-directional. I didn't think you'd actually do it. I thought you'd stay focused on us, on our primary partnership, while I explored externally. Why would I do that? He'd asked, looking at me with genuine curiosity, like this was an interesting philosophical question, rather than a painful emotional conversation. Why would the openness only apply to you? We both have freedom and permission to see other people. That's what open relationship means by definition. That's explicitly what you proposed and what I agreed to. I'm just using the freedom you insisted we should both have. I know, but I struggled with the hypocrisy of my own reaction. How did you even meet someone this quickly? We've only been open 2 weeks. I made a dating app profile the day after we agreed to open things up, he said matter-of-factly. Like I pointed out during our initial conversation, you'd already been seeing Ethan for a full month before you bothered to tell me. Before you got caught, actually. You weren't planning to tell me voluntarily. So you had a month's head start on exploring external connections. I was starting from complete zero. So I started immediately. Downloaded apps, made profiles, started swiping and matching and messaging. Simone and I matched 3 days ago. We've been texting constantly. She seems great. Really looking forward to meeting her in person tonight. He'd left for his date that evening, wearing the nice dark blue shirt I'd bought him for his birthday last year. The one that brought out his eyes and fit perfectly across his shoulders. I'd watched him get ready with growing dread, watched him put on cologne, watched him check his appearance in the mirror with care he hadn't shown in months when getting ready to spend time with me. He'd left at 6:30 and came home after 1 in the morning. Didn't offer details when he came in, and I was too scared and too aware of my hypocrisy to ask. The next morning at breakfast, he'd mentioned casually while making eggs. Simone and I have really good chemistry. Better than I expected, actually. We talked for hours, barely noticed the restaurant closing around us, seeing her again Thursday. And he did. Saw Simone Thursday evening, and then Saturday afternoon, and then Tuesday for lunch, and then Friday for dinner and a movie. Regular dates with escalating frequency and apparent deepening connection. He'd mention them casually, seeing Simone tonight, or meeting Simone for brunch on Sunday, and then go without elaboration, or detail or discussion. I'd try to ask questions, try to engage with what was happening, try to understand how serious this was becoming. What's she like? What do you guys talk about? What do you do together? How serious is this getting? But he'd give frustratingly minimal answers. She's nice, smart, funny. We talk about lots of things, work, books, travel, life goals. We get dinner, see movies, hang out at her place, or walk around the city. Not serious yet, just seeing where it goes naturally. Meanwhile, I was seeing Ethan less and less. The excitement that had driven our entire connection had worn off completely once it wasn't forbidden anymore. Once it was just another allowed relationship rather than a thrilling secret affair. It felt less special, less worth the effort and scheduling and emotional energy. The conversations that had seemed so intellectually stimulating when we were sneaking around started seeming superficial and shallow once we could have them openly any time. Ethan himself had started seeming less interesting, less attractive, less compelling once I could have him completely without guilt or sneaking or the thrill of doing something forbidden. But Darius seemed increasingly invested in and excited about Simone with each passing week. Saw her 3 or 4 times a week consistently, started mentioning her more frequently and with more enthusiasm. Started smiling at his phone when messages came through in ways he used to smile at me during our first year together. Started coming home later from dates. Started being less present and engaged, even during the times we were together at home. "You're seeing her a lot," I'd commented one evening after he'd mentioned another date. "Are you still primary partners with me? Because it feels like Simone is becoming more important." "I'm following the rules we established," Darius had said, "seeing people externally while maintaining our home and connection. That's what you wanted. That's what we agreed to. But you're seeing her constantly. You're more invested in her than in us." "Am I?" he'd asked. "Or am I just as invested in her as you were in Ethan when you were sneaking around behind my back for a month? I'm at least being honest about it. You hid it until you got caught." "That's different." "How? How is it different? Please explain the principle that makes your external relationship acceptable but mine threatening." I didn't have an answer. Could feel the trap I'd built for myself closing around me. Could feel him using my own rules and framework against me in ways I hadn't anticipated when I'd proposed opening things up. After 6 weeks of the open relationship structure that I'd created, Darius came home one evening looking unusually purposeful. Not upset or angry, but resolved. Like someone who'd made a difficult decision and was ready to execute it. He sat down across from me at our dining table and said, "We need to talk about something important, about Simone and me, about what's been happening between us, about what I want going forward with my life." I'd felt immediate, intense dread settling in my stomach. "What about it? What about Simone?" "I really like her," he'd said simply, directly, looking me in the eyes. "More than I expected to when I first started seeing her. More than I've liked anyone or felt genuinely excited about anyone in a genuinely long time, if I'm being completely honest. And she really likes me too. She's said so explicitly multiple times. And we've been having serious conversations about what we both want going forward, about whether what we have together could potentially become something more serious and committed and exclusive." "You've only been seeing her for 6 weeks. We've been seeing each other intensively, consistently, and with increasing emotional investment for 6 weeks, he'd corrected calmly. "That's actually quite a lot of concentrated time. Multiple dates per week, long conversations, real emotional vulnerability and connection, and that's been more than enough time to know definitively when something has real potential and real compatibility. And this absolutely does. We connect on really deep, meaningful levels about values and life goals and vision for the future. We make each other genuinely happy in ways that feel sustainable and real and built on actual compatibility rather than just convenience or history or settling." "What are you saying exactly? What are you telling me?" "I'm saying I want to pursue things with Simone exclusively and monogamously," Darius said clearly. "I want to close my side of the relationship completely and commit to her fully and seriously. Which means I need to end things with you entirely, not maintain you as some kind of primary partner while seeing her as secondary. Not keep you as a safety net or backup option. End our romantic relationship completely and definitively so I can build something real and committed with her in the space you used to occupy." My stomach dropped completely, utterly, like I was in free fall. "You're breaking up with me? You're actually ending our 3-year relationship for someone you've known 6 weeks? I'm choosing to pursue a committed, monogamous relationship with someone I'm genuinely compatible with on every meaningful level," Darius said firmly. "Someone who wants exactly the same things I want from a relationship. Someone who values monogamy and commitment and loyalty as foundational rather than optional. Someone who didn't cheat on me for a month and then try to retroactively justify it by proposing an open relationship structure designed to let her keep cheating without guilt. Yes, I've only known Simone 6 weeks, but I knew within 2 weeks of meeting her that what we have together is fundamentally better, healthier, and more aligned with what I actually want than what you and I had become during these final months. But we've been together 3 years. We have an entire life together, a home, a history, shared friends and plans and a future. You can't just throw all of that away for someone you barely know. You threw it away when you started cheating with Ethan, Darius said flatly, voice hard. You threw it away when you decided I wasn't enough to keep you satisfied. You threw it away when you chose excitement with a new person over commitment to what we'd built. You threw it away when you proposed opening the relationship so you could keep fucking him without feeling guilty about betraying me. I'm just finishing what you started months ago. I'm just officially closing the door you opened when you decided monogamy with me wasn't what you wanted anymore. I don't want to break up, I said desperately, panic fully setting in. I want to close the relationship on both sides and go back to being monogamous together. Just you and me. We can make this work. We can rebuild. We can get past this. I don't want that, he said simply, devastatingly. I don't want to be with you anymore in any capacity, not monogamously, not in an open relationship, not casually, not at all. I don't want to rebuild or work on us or try to recapture what we had. I want to move forward with Simone, who I'm genuinely excited about and compatible with. So I need you to move out of our apartment. Well, my apartment technically, it's in my name, you moved in with me. I'll give you 30 days to find a new place. That's reasonable and legal. But this, us, what we had, is completely over. You're kicking me out of our home. I'm asking you to leave so I can move forward with my actual life, he corrected, with Simone, who I'm planning to ask to move in with me once you're gone and the space is available. Because what we have is real and committed and serious and based on honesty and mutual desire for monogamy, rather than me being a convenient backup while you explore other options. So that's it? You're just done? After 3 years together, you're just walking away? After 3 years where the last several months included you cheating on me with a coworker for a month solid, and then proposing, we opened the relationship so you could keep cheating, but with my permission, and therefore without guilt. Yes, I'm done. I opened the relationship door when you demanded I do so. I gave you exactly what you asked for. Now I'm closing it behind you as you walk out. You're completely free now to explore all the connections you want without any constraints from me. Just not with me as your safe foundation or backup option or primary partner. You're on your own. I moved out exactly 3 weeks later. Found a small, depressing studio apartment in a neighborhood I didn't like, that felt cramped and dark and lonely compared to our spacious loft, with the floor-to-ceiling windows and exposed brick and space for an actual life. Packed up my belongings, which turned out to be less than I'd thought since most of our nice furniture and kitchen stuff and decorations had been his to begin with. Watched from a painful distance as Darius started building a completely new life with Simone in the beautiful space we'd shared. Saw on social media over the following months as they became officially together, as she moved into my former home, as they looked genuinely happy together in ways he and I honestly hadn't been in many months before everything fell apart. Photos of them cooking together in our kitchen. Photos of them on the couch I'd helped pick out. Photos of them in bed with morning light streaming through those floor-to-ceiling windows I'd loved. All the intimate domestic moments that used to be ours, now theirs. Ethan and I fizzled out completely within a month of my moving out of Darius's place. Without the structure of the open relationship framework, without the forbidden nature and excitement of the affair, without the stability of my relationship with Darius, providing foundation while I explored, there wasn't much actually holding us together. He was nice enough but not substantial, exciting initially, but not compatible long-term. A good distraction and ego boost, but not a good actual partner for building anything real. We stopped seeing each other by mutual unspoken agreement both of us recognizing that what we'd had was situational rather than meaningful. I tried dating other people over the following months, downloaded all the apps like Darius had done, created profiles, swiped and matched and messaged, went on dates with men who seemed interested and potentially compatible, tried desperately to recreate the excitement and validation I'd felt with Ethan. Couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't genuinely connect with anyone. Couldn't stop comparing every person to Darius and finding them severely wanting in every category that actually mattered. I tried dating other people, downloaded apps, went on dates, tried to recreate the excitement I'd felt with Ethan. Couldn't find it. Couldn't connect. Couldn't stop comparing everyone to Darius and finding them wanting. Couldn't stop thinking about what I'd lost. I talked to my friend Kira about everything that had happened, about cheating with Ethan, about proposing the open relationship, about Darius finding Simone, about him choosing her over me. She'd listened patiently through the whole story before saying what I needed to hear but didn't want to accept. "You thought you could have it all," Kira had said. "Thought you could keep Darius as your stable foundation while playing with Ethan. Thought proposing an open relationship after cheating would let you keep both without consequences. Thought Darius would stay devoted to you while you explored. And you were wrong about all of it. He did exactly what you asked. Opened the relationship. Then he did what you didn't expect, found someone better, and now you're alone because you traded something real for something exciting and lost both." She was right. I'd gambled our relationship on being able to keep Darius as my safety net while exploring with Ethan. Had thought Darius would stay committed to me, stay primary, stay available while I had my fun. Had thought the open relationship would benefit me without affecting us. Had thought wrong about everything. It's been 14 months since Darius and I broke up. 14 months since he chose Simone and asked me to move out. 14 months since I lost everything I'd taken for granted while chasing excitement that turned out to be empty. Darius and Simone got engaged 4 months ago. I saw the announcement on social media. Beautiful ring, happy photos, plans for a wedding next fall, the kind of commitment I'd thrown away by cheating and then trying to keep him as a backup option. I think about that conversation constantly, about sitting across from Darius and announcing I wanted an open relationship, about framing it as evolution and growth and modern relationship structures, when really, it was just me wanting to keep cheating without guilt, about his calm agreement that I'd mistaken for acceptance when it was actually him letting go. I understand now what I did wrong. I cheated on someone who loved me and trusted me. I pursued excitement with Ethan without considering consequences. I tried to retroactively justify cheating by proposing an open relationship structure. I thought I could manipulate the situation to benefit me, keep Darius in our life while also having Ethan and the thrill. I assumed Darius would stay devoted while I explored. I never considered he might actually use the freedom I demanded and find something better. And I understand why he responded the way he did. Why he agreed so easily to opening the relationship, why he immediately started dating, why he pursued Simone so intensively. Because he'd already decided we were over the moment he saw those texts with Ethan. Already knew he was done the moment I proposed opening things up. He didn't open our relationship. He opened the door and let me walk out of his life. Let me think I was getting what I wanted, while actually he was ending things on his terms. The worst part is realizing Darius was right. Simone is better for him than I was. She wanted commitment from the start. She valued monogamy. She didn't cheat, and then try to justify it with relationship structures. She gave him what I'd stopped giving: genuine devotion, real partnership, actual loyalty. And he chose that over what I was offering, which was being his primary partner, while I kept secondary options open. I announced I wanted an open relationship after cheating. Thought it was a negotiation. Thought he'd fight for me. Thought I'd get to keep him while playing with Ethan. Thought I was getting what I wanted. My boyfriend opened the door and closed it behind me. Let me walk out thinking I'd won. Then he found someone who actually valued him and built a real life with her in the space I'd vacated. And I learned that you can't cheat and then demand freedom and expect loyalty in return.